Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Wabosha and welcome to the Slay Squad. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my secrets and tips and tricks of how to prevent getting flashback from your makeup. And if you don't know what flashback is, it's when you've done your makeup, you look really nice, get out of the house, but then when someone takes a picture of you, especially using flash, you look white. Out of nowhere, you just look like a ghost. You don't know why. Underneath your eyes especially is looking so white and ashy. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to fight this, and we're actually going to use actual pictures from flash photography to test whether or not my tips work. So yeah, stick around if you want to learn a thing or two about this. So we're going to use a do's and don't format for this type of video, and I'm going to start with the do's phase. And the first thing that you want to make sure that you do to avoid flashback is using a foundation that matches your skin perfectly. As in, you don't usually think it affects you because sometimes you leave the house and you've been able to fix how the foundation looks like, but if the foundation is even just a little bit lighter than your skin tone, chances are you will get flashback when you take flash photography using your camera from your phone or an actual camera. So the foundation that I'm going to use is this one right here. This is the Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 390. This foundation is so perfect for my skin tone. Like when I use it, you can't even tell that there is product on my skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this all over my face. So as you can see, this foundation matches my skin perfectly. You can't even see a weird line of demarcation from my forehead to my hairline. Everything just blends seamlessly, and this is what you want to look for when you're buying a foundation so that it can help you avoid flashback. So for my don't side, what you do not want to do is use a foundation that is lighter than your skin tone. Trust me, it doesn't matter how expensive your foundation is or how good the foundation is. Once it's lighter than your actual skin tone, you will get flashback when you take flash photography. So over here, I'm using the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. This is actually a really nice foundation. If you watch reviews, everyone is raving about the coverage and how long it lasts on your skin. But the thing is, the one that I have here is too light for my skin tone, and it's in the shade 60 Caramel. So I'm going to put that on the don't side of the face. When you look at this foundation, like on my cheek, you can be like, it's not that bad, you can make it work. But you guys, look at the difference between my forehead and over here on my hairline. It's such a big difference. And to be honest, I can actually make this foundation work, and at the end of it, you won't be able to tell that it's lighter than my actual complexion. But you guys, once the camera flashlight goes on, you will be able to tell that I used the wrong shade of foundation. Another thing that I see a lot that usually gives you a lot of flashback is to do with the under eye concealer, because a lot of the times when you're doing your highlighting, people are told go 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin tone, but then it just ends up being way too much. So I'm going to show you how I sort of tone it down. I actually recommend only 1 shade lighter than your skin. You don't need anything more than that. Otherwise, when you take pictures, underneath your eye just looks way too bright than it needs to look. So the concealers that I have here are this Fit Me concealers by Maybelline, and I have 2. This darker one is in the shade 55 and the lighter one is in the shade 40. So I usually mix both of these. I usually do more of the darker one than the lighter one so that I can get a perfect shade. And if you're looking for concealers, I love these concealers, especially for my skin type, because usually the LA Girl Pro concealer sometimes usually feels a bit too drying underneath my eyes. This one is a bit more, how do you explain it, what's the word, it doesn't dry out my under eyes. So I really like this, and I'm going to show you guys how I make it work. So the shade number 40 is now the 2 to 3 shades lighter than my skin tone that people are advised to use. But I know, like I've tried it, and if I use this it will be way too light for my skin. So what I like to do is go in with the number 55. I'm sure if I go and search I'll be able to find concealers that match my skin perfectly, because between 40 and 55 there are definitely other shades in between, but for now this is what I have, so I'm going to work with it. So I'm going to start with the 55, and I'm going to place this closer to the top, to my eyelids. And then I'm going to go in with shade number 40 and just dab a few like dots so that I can lighten it up a bit. So for the Don't Concealer side, I'm going to go in with the same two concealers. The only thing I'm going to do different is I'm going to use more of this lighter one. This one is in the shade 40, and I'm just going to put that in, and in the end you'll see how it affects the whole makeup look. So next up we're going to move to the setting of the under eye concealer, and for this I'm going to use the Sacha Buttercup powder. This is my absolute favorite product to use to set underneath my eyes. Now in the next clip for the Dawn side, I'm going to show you the ingredients to avoid for under eye powders so that you can avoid flashback. And also another thing that I don't do anymore is I don't bake underneath my eyes, because I found that one, it just dried out underneath my eyes way too much, and number two, it gave me flashback. Like leaving that powder to sit on my face for too long just always gave me flashback, and I don't like flashback at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the powder and then just dab my brush lightly in there and tap off the excess. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lightly dab the powder, like I'm going to press it into my skin instead of just putting a whole lot of powder and letting it sit down there. So first I'm going to blend it out so that I can avoid any creasing. And then I'm just going to press that powder underneath my eye. When it comes to setting powders and the don't side, there are some setting powders that will automatically give you flashback because of the ingredients. A really good example is this powder right here. This is the Illegal Pro Powder HD setting powder, and if you look at the ingredients behind here, it says that it has silica. Any setting powder that has silica in it will automatically give you flashback, but since it's a translucent powder, as you can see it's white in there, you can be like, well duh, for our dark skin it will definitely give you flashback. So I'll show you that for setting powders, it's not only those that have silica that can give you flashback. I can use the same Sacha Buttercup powder, but I'll leave it under my eyes for way too long, and you'll see that it will also give me flashback. So this baking thing is something that I used to do a lot of, like so much of in the past, until it just reached a point that I realized I don't even like the result that it's giving me, because my skin is more to the dry side. So it just used to make my under eye look really dry and unhealthy, and I hated the look. So it's something that I eliminated with time, but I know that there are some people who really like baking, especially if you have oily skin. So a tip so that it's not too much powdery, if you really like baking, what you can do is take your beauty blender or your wedge that you're using to put the powder on and damp it. Make sure that it's damp before you put on the powder. That way excess powder won't go onto your skin, and then it just won't sit on top of your face, because that sitting on top of your face is what is giving you the flashback. So you're going to see that even if I'll dust this away and then I'll go back in with another powder on top to make the colors match, it will still end up giving me flashback. So another thing that usually really shows up when you take flash photography is where your foundation starts and ends, especially if you aren't too keen on blending out your foundation around your forehead or on your jawline. So to help with this, I like to go in with a bronzer, and now that I'm using is Wood Smoke by Sleek. This one is actually a powder, not a bronzer. It's just that the color is perfect enough for me to use as a bronzer. So you go with this around the perimeter of your face, so it will help get rid of that line of demarcation. So as we let that setting powder sit and bake, I'm going to try to fix the rest of my foundation, because obviously, I mean, I have a mirror, I can see that there is a big color difference, so naturally you'll try and fix it. So I'm going to go in with this powder that I normally use to bronze. This is a Sleek powder in the shade Wood Smoke. So I'm going to take this, and because it's darker, I'm going to try and make my forehead area blend a bit more. I'm also going to use the same powder and go down here on my jawline. So as you can tell, what I'm trying to do is I'm going around the perimeters of my face to get rid of that line of demarcation. So to bring the whole face look together and just so that everything is seamlessly blended in, I like to go in with a face powder. And your face powder can also affect your makeup in the sense that if it's too light for your skin, it will give you flashback. So the one that I'm using is by Filmora in the shade K102, and this is how it looks like. Usually powder won't give you that much flashback, so it has to be like really light. And also, if you do this thing that I see people doing for using the sponge and then you directly apply it, you know, instead of using a brush, and it's too light for your skin, when you take a picture you'll be able to notice and you look really white. So try and get one that matches your skin nicely. And also, if you're a beginner, you can try using a brush because it doesn't deposit too much product on your skin. Okay, so I think this has been sitting on my face for long enough. I'm starting to feel a bit too dry, so I'm just going to dust it off. So on the don't side for powder, I'm going to be using this powder right here, and this is the Fit Me Maybelline Matte and Poreless powder. Honestly, this is a really nice powder. As you can see, it's very fine and it gives you a really nice finish on the face. The only thing is that I feel like this one is also a bit too light for my skin, so I'm going to go ahead and use it just to set my entire face. So to finish the whole look, I'm going to do my blush, highlight and a lip color so that we can go ahead and do the flash test. Okay, so because we're actually trying to put effort and look good on this don't side, I'm going to finish it off with some blush, highlight and some lipstick, and then I'm going to set it all together, and then we're going to do the flash test. So as you can see with the finished look, it doesn't look that bad. Okay, I don't know how the camera is picking it up, but in person you can genuinely end up leaving the house like this thinking, I fixed it, the line of demarcation is not as bad as it was on my forehead anymore, you can't see a difference on my chin. So you can actually end up leaving the house like this. But I'm just going to show you guys that if you end up taking a picture using a flash, or if you're at an event and a photographer takes a picture of you and he uses flash photography, you're doomed. That's it. That's the end of you. So let's do that right now. I'm just going to put on the screen recording on my phone so that you guys can see exactly what is happening. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on the flash and I'm going to put the phone on video mode. Yeah, so as you can see, the flash is not that bright, but even from my phone camera you can already see, especially around my eyes, it has started looking a bit lighter than the rest of my face, and that's not even like a real flash. This is just that car. I don't know if this is going to pick it up, but it's like a tiny flash that is usually at the front of the camera. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to take pictures and then you're going to really see how messed up it can look. Okay, so I think now we're set up and I'm going to take the selfie. Hold on, let me take one more. Ooh. Now if you look at this selfie, it is horrendous. Like, it is seriously horrendous. I mean, especially underneath my eyes, and this I'm sure is because of that baking that we did. You can just literally tell that underneath my eyes whatever I did does not match my skin at all. The foundation honestly doesn't look that bad. It looks like I escaped looking too ashy, but as you can see it still doesn't match my skin that bad. But you know what, it doesn't look cute. It doesn't look cute at all. Okay, so now we shall go ahead and do a flash test for the good side. Okay, so again I'm going to switch on the front camera. Okay, so now I have switched on the front camera and we are on the do side and it's the moment of truth. So I'm going to switch on the flash, and this is the same flash that I used the first time with the down side. So as you can see, it doesn't look bad. Like, there is no flashback. I can't see any white spot on my face. My face just looks healthy and glowy, and that's what we're always looking for. So now we're going to turn the camera around and do an actual flash test. Okay, so here comes the picture. Take one more for insurance. This is the picture that I have taken using the flash. These are both the pictures, and as you can see, there is not a single white line on my face. Everything looks seamless. My makeup looks blended everywhere, and the secret is just by using makeup that really matches your skin perfectly. So as you can see, even when I zoom in there, you can't really see any lines of demarcation. So the only secret is to use things that match your skin really perfectly. So that is it for the 6th video. I really hope that you found this video helpful and you won't be walking out there looking like a ghost. Ain't no member of the Slay Squad about to be caught unaware with flash photography ever again. Amen? Amen. So that is it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe down below for new videos every Mondays and Thursdays. Always remember to work hard and have good intentions. Until next time, bye!